spot in the championship game is on the line as Alcorn State takes on Texas Southern. Two teams that are blue bloods in circle, ready to go in this semifinal. Ball is up. Let's begin. Texas Southern coming off a win over Prairie View in the quarterfinal round. That jumper is off on the first attempt from Cortland Loudermill.
Off the miss there, and for Alcorn State, we know they are going to be without number 15, Anderson. She is out with a knee injury, as we saw as she was celebrating their quarterfinal victory. She had a very tough start to the day, very emotional, finding out she wasn't going to be able to play. If they can get that swelling down in her knee, they could see her if they get past Texas Southern, potentially into the championship game.
2 seconds on the shot clock, and the first jumper is no good from Charmaine Finley.
Yeah, we're going to see that shot clock wind down a lot for Alcorn State. They want to take as much time off the clock and try and wear out this Texas Southern defense early on.
The Defensive Player of the Year making an early statement. Destiny Brown, who is from Los Angeles, California, came to Alcorn State through the connection to Kaylin Watkins. Turnover.
Yeah, Van Troy looking to dump it off.
And Ashanti Backus right to the rim.
Yeah, Backus was right there, and you see her standing at 5'4". She actually might be a little bit shorter than that. You can see that she had the dump off and was able to fly right up the floor. Nobody could go with her, and she gets the easy bucket.
A returning starter for Alcorn State that played in the championship game last year, and they're a team that is sneaky good. They can really get the job done, especially when they play at their pace. Backus, the step back. Her shot falls off.
And they're going to need to have more than just Destiny Brown scoring in this one. Destiny Brown had a huge game in the quarterfinals, but as we saw with Texas Southern, they had 3 players in double figures. Alcorn, just the one in Destiny Brown. Can they generate scoring around her here today? Seems like Backus is trying to be that +1 to Destiny Brown here in scoring.
You talk about the next highest scoring person, that was Anderson, and she's the one that's out with the injury. Jada Belton, the good catch, and the finish.
Yeah, another injury update too. Irene Iacopolar has a sprained left ankle. She's gonna try to go today, but if they can avoid her having to play on that ankle after rolling it up, they're going to try to.
Sanaya White with 7. The jumper just rolls off. Anela Thomas, the outlet to Fan Troy, and Fan Troy finishes.
That's where they get a lot of their points right there. They had 26 fast break points against Prairie View. That surged them to that 69-49 win over Prairie View in the quarterfinals.
3 different players in double figures in that Prairie View win. Fan Troy led all Tigers with 17 points and 11 rebounds.
Yeah, she's a special player for this Texas Southern group. So far, Alcorn has done a good job to not let them get that hot start they were looking for.
Tigers trying to run. Holmes throws it away.
Yeah, there we see again, Alcorn has positioned themselves so well defensively from that inside pass down low.
Brown gets a touch, and Belton bumps her from behind. Destiny Brown off to the free throw line.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, too, as we get further along in this one. How are they going to defend Destiny Brown? Here we see she's going to get it down inside. And just that little extra push in the back was enough to draw the foul. But Destiny Brown, as we heard from Alabama A&M, they said we just have to put 5 to the ball anytime she gets it. That's what they said at halftime, and they were just unable to rattle her or get her outside of her game.
Destiny Brown comes from the state of California, and she was a player that just had a connection with Kaylin Watkins. And Coach Gilbert shared with us that sometimes your best players fall in your lap. You don't necessarily have to do the recruiting because you have players that are recruiting for you.
Yeah, you got to love that. And unfortunately for Alcorn, Kaylin Watkins is a graduate student, so that recruiting will not pay off as she will be graduating, but maybe she earns her spot as a GA.
Loudermill earning her keep in the lane. A tough bucket for Cortland Loudermill. Almost 4 minutes gone in this first quarter of our first semifinal. A spot in the championship game on the line. Both of these teams trying to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament. Turnaround jumper is pure.
Yeah, really good turnaround there from Finley. We know she was going to start in this one, but with fitness, she's not going to be playing the full 40 minutes as her coaches told us, so they try to get the most out of her to start.
Belton blocked twice, still working. Now off the pump, Mathis is impacted by Destiny Brown, but after a 4-try, Jada Belton finishes again her second field goal.
Way to hang in there for Jada Belton, who you see stands at 6'4". Destiny Brown had a hard time defending her there down low.
Jada Belton has the ability to go off. Scored 20 points or more in numerous games this season. Zanaya White,
wow.
A slick move in the lane.
What a strong finish there from Zanaya White. Coach told us in the quarterfinals she will get her shot at will, and there you saw it underneath.
She can score at all 3 levels. A foul on the defensive end for Alcorn State as we take our first timeout. Knotted up 8 apiece. Nothing differing between these two semifinal teams. We'll be back to the Starry SWAC basketball tournament presented by Buick after these messages. Glenn college transfer, ready to shoot 2.
Yeah, right before they took that timeout, Ziana White started to get going, and they need her to. After their quarterfinal victory, she only had 5 points against Alabama A&M. She's one of those who can plug in around Destiny Brown on the offensive end.
Texas Southern goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Early lead for the Tigers, and this matchup is one that has both Destiny Brown and Jada Belton, but Ashley Jones has more on how that could impact things.
So the first time that these two teams met, Destiny Brown did not play in this matchup, and Texas Southern won pretty handily, 48-70. So it's going to be a fun matchup to watch this afternoon between Jada Belton and Destiny Brown. These two going at it. In Texas Southern's last game against Prairie View, Jada Belton only had 4 points. She already has 4 on the afternoon.
Belton, a player that played minimally but made a big impact in that contest. And so now that both bigs are here, it's going to be a true tale of the tape. 2 of the best post players in the entire conference, and that's where you want to see it, right? In March, when you can really strut your stuff.
She can be somebody that gets in the high double figures as well. She had 21 points this season high against Prairie View A&M. Can she be that today?
Davion Harris. And now coming the other way is Holmes, and she's fouled.
Yeah, Alcorn State got lucky there that she wasn't able to finish because she pretty much went untouched, no contact all the way until the very end, and will now go to the free throw line. But we see Alcorn State just getting back on defense just a little too slowly, and that's where they get into foul trouble with the reach behind.
Holmes knocks down the first free throw. She got injured earlier this season. She's finding her groove, says Coach Skeet, and she's considered the 6th man on the team, one of the most selfless players in the program. Goes 2 for 2 from the line, and Texas Southern back in front.
Yeah, Texas Southerners had to ask a lot of players to step up this year as they had injuries to Treasure Thompson and Aaliyah Henderson. Coach highlighted Nia Harmon and Tiana Mathis have been 2 that have also stepped up in a big way for this group.
Watkins, fresh off her first bucket, has 5 to shoot. Henderson back to Watkins. That's well short. Holmes comes down with it.
Yeah, just an unfortunate look there. She's only shooting 30% in the regular season, too, from the three-point line.
And Davion Harris, too strong down low.
There's that transition bucket that we see with Texas Southern. They want to get out fast and make you chase them.
Brown, why not? That's off. Ripped down by Mathis, but taken away down low. Scrappy defense from Nakia Cheatham.
And what a beautiful finish there from Cheatham to have the awareness down low, knew where the basket was, and was able to get that one to go in a very tough spot.
Nakia Cheatham, the senior from Clarksdale, Mississippi. And that might have been altered by Cheatham. She's come in and brought some energy for Alcorn State.
Yeah, Loudermill just got held up there, but credit to Alcorn State not drawing the foul.
Cheatham throws to no one, and this ball will roll all the way out of play on the Texas Southern end.
Yeah, a little too much heat on that one, and we were talking with Coach Kilbert about the first game in the quarterfinals, hoping that some of those things were out of the way, some of the mistakes, the jitters. You probably saw a little carryover there to start this one, just a little too much on that pass.
Just the first turnover of the game for Alcorn State, so the young ladies heeding the advice and the coaching of Coach Kilbert, taking care of the basketball up to this point. Near 2 minutes to play in the first quarter of our first semifinal of the day. Alasia Fantroy finds Harris. She's doubled, still works, no good and close. And this ball is off of Alcorn State.
Yeah, great fight underneath for Alcorn on the defensive end. You mentioned that was their first turnover. Boy, do they have to slow down the turnovers in the tournament specifically. They had 26 turnovers against Alabama A&M, who made them pay, scoring 18 of their points off turnovers.
Harris with the height advantage, but she's blocked away. Strong defense by Irene Ike Polar, but in the end, it's Harris. She would not be denied.
How about the length there for Irene, though, on the initial one, but Harris sticks in there and is able to get it to go. Irene, just the wingspan is what able to help her there on the defensive end.
Ike Polar. Another offensive rebound for Alcorn State, and Henderson double dribbles.
Those second chance points have to be something that Alcorn's got to be aware of with Texas Southern. We've seen now they're packing the paint anytime a shot's put up and are very good about getting numbers to the ball on all of these boards.
Ball is tipped by Ike Polar as she's working hard against Davion Harris.
Yeah, Harris looking a little frustrated, maybe wanted to get the foul there. It was not called, but that's been a really fun matchup to watch here because clearly they're size differential, but it's the wingspan that's kept Irene in that fight.
Mathis with three. Fantroy, now Thomas. Not a bad look, but it's a poor shot, just hitting the backboard. And Alcorn State with a nice defensive possession.
That might be something that could be on for Texas Southern. She misses the bucket there, but that inside-out game and then kicking out to the open player at three. Alcorn State hasn't had to defend out to the three-point line a whole lot to start this one.
3-point game, Alcorn State trying to cut into the lead as we wind down the first quarter in our first semifinal. Ike Polar from distance.
Doing it on both ends. Huge defensive boards and then gets the three-point shot to fall for Alcorn to tie it.
Irene Ike Polar, her first triple, and that's a blocking foul going on Zaniyah White.
Zaniyah White, she's one of those ruthless defenders, very versatile, even though she's outsized. One of the coaches was talking with me about her, saying she's one of the top guards in the league, and it's because she can do it on both ends of the floor.
She's a former freshman of the year in the conference. Coach allowed her to leave the team to come back. And right now, Thomas off the baseline out of bounds play scores.
Yeah, that was actually an interesting story because she went into the transfer portal and apparently had to beg Coach Gilbert to come back.
Texas Southern, but Alcorn State sticking around and trying to lull the Tigers to sleep exactly like Coach Gilbert wanted.
Yeah, we've seen that too, and they've done a really good job too of not turning the ball over. Only 2 so far in this one compared to their 26 in their win over Alabama A&M, and it's a credit to both coaches who have won SWAC championships as players. For Coach Gilbert, he was the point guard for the Mississippi Valley State team in 1986, and for Texas Southern's head coach, Coach Skeet, it was when she was playing for Alcorn State. She won a SWAC championship under his assistant coach and Coach Elvis.
Three-pointer is off for the Braves. Still another possession, but Jada Belton is doing her best defensively and earns the Tigers a possession.
Yeah, taking another look at this. Gets in good position to get the board. Looking for her help there. And just a little too much there from Belton.
Texas Southern, a couple of top scorers in the first quarter. Jada Belton had 4, along with Davion Harris working down low, but turned the ball over on this possession.
Yeah, great defense there to get Anila Thomas to have to try and throw it inside, and they get the turnover.
Zaniyah White tries to slip through, and a slippery move for Zaniyah White, her second field goal.
Yeah, she's feeling good in the semifinal. I'm sure she was disappointed in her offensive performance in the quarterfinals, wanting to be more of a help on the offensive end. She certainly ratcheted that up here in the semis. Belton
is fouled from behind. That foul's going to go on Maya Claytor.
Yeah, and that was an unnecessary foul, the reach behind.
So Jada Belton goes to the line. Belton, one of the best post players in the league, has excellent footwork, misses from the free throw line. Misses both, and Coach Skeet was honest with us, saying that at times Jada Belton has to find some consistency in her game. She's a walking double-double when she's on, but goes over on that trip to the line. We're tied at 17 apiece. A spot in the championship game on the line this morning in College Park, Georgia. Tough drive there for Kiara Henderson, and it's brought down.
Yeah, you saw the pressure Texas Southern put on underneath. Nobody committed a foul, just stuck in there and made sure that she felt the pressure and was not able to get that one to fall in.
And Troy, now Anela Thomas uses the screen. High catch by Belton, and she finishes, plus the foul.
Yeah, they got to the free throw line a ton in their last game. They went 19 for 24 from the free throw line, and it's because of plays like that. Sticking in, handling the pressure, not afraid to get hit. She gets the and one, gets to the free throw line.
Belton is wonderful around the basket. And that was a tough catch on the roll, made it happen, and then finished through contact. But misses her free throw, now 0 for her last 3 at the line. 2-point lead for Texas Southern. Zaniyah White, a floater. The degree of difficulty on all of her shots today have been off the charts.
Yes. She's usually been able to get that one to fall too. It's just that soft touch as she's driving so quickly to the rim. That one not able to go in, but she's feeling it in this semifinal. She's feeling herself.
Van Troy, a floater, and it's ripped down by Arine Ike Polar. In transition, Zaniyah White decides to reset. EK Polar already hit 1-3, leaves that one short.
There you see again, just that methodical approach on the offensive end, letting that shot clock wind all the way down. They don't get to cash in on it, but we haven't seen Destiny Brown here for a little bit. She's going to check into the game. Can she start knocking down shots for Alcorn?
Belton is blocked by Arena EK Polar, playing above her size right now, giving up about 3 to 4 inches to both Belton and to Avion Harris when she's on the floor.
Yeah, she's playing through some pain, man. She rolled her ankle up. She's got a little bit of a sprain from the quarterfinals, but hey, it's March.
Charmaine Finley firing. It's brought down by Jada Belton. Belton now with her 4th rebound to go along with her team leading 6 points. Thomas, good look for Loudermill. Rebounded by Holmes, and she can't finish. Belton can.
How about a third opportunity there? They get the third chance points there. Double rebounds back-to-back, sticking in there. And Texas Southern, you've seen, they've started to slow down what they're doing as well. You saw the patience around the perimeter trying to find the best option, but they hang in there for the rebounds as well.
Largest lead of the game for Texas Southern, although it's slide at 4. EK Polar, the Euro.
Yeah,
and
whoop that ankle.
And she scores, plus the foul. A beautiful move by Arena EK Polar.
Absolutely, stepping up for her team when they need it most. Still down by 2. She's got an opportunity for the 3-point play. This is the type of player and what you need to see to have success in the postseason against a Texas Southern team that's been very good, especially inside the paint, defending inside the paint, and Alcorn State's just finding a way.
Misses from the line. Arena EK Polar last year averaged less than 1 point a game, and this season she's making her presence felt in March. Has 5 to lead her team off the bench. Fantroy kicks out, and the shot is off. Mathis with another offensive rebound. Gives back to Holmes, but her shot rolls off. Offensive glass being owned by Texas Southern right now.
Yeah, they are absolutely cleaning up everything off the O boards to start this one. That's what you want to see from your group in a game like this, where they both know each other pretty well. It's going to get chippy in there, going to get physical. Credit to Texas Southern sticking in there on the offensive end.
And credit to all. Prairie View A&M took down Bethune-Cookman, and that's what led to Texas Southern playing their Houston area rival and winning by 20 to get to this semifinal. Ashanti Backus has been quiet since scoring her first bucket of the game. Now Destiny Brown back in with Davion Harris on her. Brown is true from in close.
I mean, that's just how good she is, right? You bring her off the bench, and she's money as soon as she enters the game.
Leading scorer from last season, averaged just less than 13. She's been able to up her average, also up her rebounds. She was an all-conference player and the defensive player of the year. And she made that pass difficult as Davion Harris was looking for the entry pass. We're square at 21, and we're going to see this for the entire game as Nakia Cheatham lays it in, and Alcorn State is in front.
Great work there by Destiny Brown, too, to wait until Cheatham got good positioning down low. And you see a player like Destiny Brown, the face she has right now is the face she'll have the whole game. She never gets too high or low.
To Avion Harris, left alone, and she misses the jumper. And Ashanti Backus, although she's at 5'4", tipped that away from Malaysia Fantroy and ended up with the defensive rebound.
Yeah, I'd argue she might even be under 5'4". But again, it doesn't matter. She's got the bunnies in her, and Destiny Brown is able to capitalize on her defensive performance on the other end.
So Brown with 6, and Texas Southern now finds itself behind, and Burnett Skeet has something to say to her team in the huddle.
Yeah, guys, in that last huddle, she looked at her team and she said, I know you guys are tired, but you have 2 options. You can go home and be tired and rest, or you can figure it out and live to fight another day. Know who you are. Put your crown on. I need to hear you guys say it. This is what we do.
And Coach Kilbert calls a timeout when his team was in flux. So with that timeout, we'll keep things here. And for Coach Skeet, she knows how to win at this level. She played at Alcorn State. She won a SWAC championship. And Brooke, for Vernette, she's wanting to bring that same success to Texas Southern.
Yeah, she is. And I was able to talk to her this week. You heard just in that huddle from Ashley, she said, put your crown on. That's where she talks about wanting to be a sharp team. Who are you when you put your crown on? Can you step up and be the one that we need you to be? Check in, be sharp. But she said, too, I'm not a good coach when I have to coach emotional players or when I have to be emotional. We want to be sharp, put your crown on, be that boss on the floor that she knows her team can be. And they've got a little bit of an edge to them, too. Yes, they earned the 2 seed, but everybody picked them to finish 9th in the preseason poll, and you see it on their warm-up shirts. It says, doubt us. They want to prove everybody wrong and that they can get to a championship.
Timeout taken. Now Texas Southern back on the ball. With 4 to shoot, Belton hands off to Loudermill. That's off. And another excellent defensive possession for Alcorn State. Now Charmaine Finley quickly the other way.
Yeah, Texas Southern desperately needed that defensive stop. Not able to cash that in after a timeout. Coach Skeet has to be frustrated, but Alcorn State has just put the pressure on.
Holmes, no good from long range. Jada Belton goes to the floor, and as it rolled out of bounds, the ball was touched by Texas Southern. So Alcorn State, sensing the moment, has their largest lead of the game and the basketball late in this first half.
What a great start for Alcorn State. They struggled to get off to a fast start in their last game. That's not been the case here today at all.
And you mentioned that the second quarter was when they struggled on yesterday. They had just the 6 points. They have 12 already right now in this second quarter alone. Henderson, a good catch. Now a kick to Cheatham. Back to Henderson. Good look. Why not? Alcorn State with the bucket, and they lead by 8 on top of the number 2 overall seed.
What a perfect offensive play, too, there. I mean, that just speaks to the level of trust and chemistry this group has, continuing to find who has the hot hand from the three-point line, working it around, nobody being selfish, finding the right player to knock that 3 ball in as they were packing the paint.
So Jada Belton made this bucket, then the whistle blew. And so as of right now, the basket was called good. And the officials are going to go to the monitor to make sure that the foul came after the whistle. Officials coming over to talk to us. And so very thankful to Kylie Galloway for coming over and letting us know that they're checking to make sure that the basket was good because the foul came off the ball. And so when the whistle came, had Belton already released the shot. And you can see Adrian Gilmore at the top of your screen watching as she was walking away and counting the basket. So,
yeah, I think that one might be a foul. I mean, Alcorn State's head coach, Nate Kilbert, had it written all over his face as he watched Destiny Brown there saying, come on, you don't need to make that there.
And so our head referee, Kelly Johnson, coming over and letting us know that the foul was before the shot by Belton, so it will not count. And Texas Southern will just have the basketball sideline out of bounds.
Yeah, they get away with that one with the contact coming early. And as we know from Coach Kilbert, he wants to see cleaner defense from his group and keeping Texas Southern off the free throw line. They've been very successful there in the tournament. Shot 63% from, that's all for Texas Southern. They shot 79% from the free throw line in the quarterfinals.
It was a cruising victory for Texas Southern versus Prairie View A&M. 3 scores in double figures, but it's been much more difficult today against Alcorn State, a team that played in the conference championship game last year, and some young ladies from last year's team still on this team. Destiny Brown gets a hand on that, making things difficult for TSU. 5 to shoot. Loudermill goes to the rim, and she is fouled.
Yeah, just a little too much there from Nakia Cheatham. The SWAT down. I mean, great defense in terms of getting 2 people to Texas Southern driving here, but just that drawing that extra contact, just take that away and just show that presence with the 2-on-1 without the extra foul.
So Cheatham picks up her 2nd personal foul, the 4th on Alcorn State, and Loudermill at the line. She misses the free throw, and you mentioned how good Texas Southern shot from the free throw line versus Prairie View. They are shooting the opposite of that in this game, just 3 of 8 from the line. Now 3 of 9 after that miss. Destiny Brown keeps it in for Alcorn State.
Yeah, they need to try to get their points at the free throw line, now down by 8.
The kick to the corner, and the shot is true. Kaylin Watkins, the 2 not only teammates but best buds, link up for a big hit. Alcorn State leads by 9.
Yeah, what great touch there from her, too, to be ready for the catch and shoot. And it's perfect from the 3-point line. And that's that chemistry that's built in the offseason, and then knowing each other, hey, knowing where she wants it, putting that pass in where she could just catch and shoot.
Now the lead is 9. That 3 made it an 11-point game. And Belton, with that bucket, brings the lead back under double figures. Brown with 4 to shoot. Takes the screen, and that's room service right to the bucket.
Wow, that slow approach is just working so well for Alcorn State. When they're in transition, you saw that 3 ball, but when they want to pull it out and slow it up, they're able to move Texas Southern around underneath and find open lanes.
An 11-point lead for Alcorn State. They won the last time these 2 teams met, and they have not been afraid at all of TSU.
They're just playing inside themselves, and that's exactly what Coach Kilbert wanted to see from his group. He wanted to get Texas Southern off of their game, and we've clearly seen that in the first half.
And a player is throwing up over on the sideline. It looks like Kaylin Watkins. She ran right to the sideline, and she has her head in the trash bin on that Alcorn State sideline. Don't know if she was hit in the stomach on that play, but there was a foul, and now Watkins is sitting on the bench. So Lasia Fantroy is at the line. Free throw falls for her, and she's been quiet today, the all-conference performer. Just her 3rd point of the occasion.
Yeah, she had a big night in the quarterfinals. It's just been all Belton, the only player in double figures.
.11 seconds remain. Ashanti Backus takes the screen from Destiny Brown. Returns the favor to Brown. Driving on Belton, and Destiny Brown, dynamic as always. 10 points to lead all Braves. And semifinal of the day later on at 5:30. Southern University, the #1 overall seed, will take on Jackson State. And the winner will play the winner of this contest and the Starry SWAC Basketball Tournament Championship game on Saturday. Charmaine Finley holds with 10 seconds to shoot. Double comes, and Texas Southern takes the basketball away. Jada Belton looking for a guard, finds Nayla Thomas, and Texas Southern already doing what they wanted to do, says Coach Skeet.
Yeah, guys, I asked Coach Skeet coming out of halftime what were the adjustments that her team needs to make. She said they've done a good job of guarding Alcorn's back cuts, but she said her team's got to stop settling offensively. They can't pout when they don't make shots because that leads to lazy defense. She said that they can't be prima donnas, and they had a little talk with Jesus at halftime, and they'll be good.
Destiny Brown, that did not get touched. Nakia Cheatham knew that, so she tried to save it. Now Alasia Fantroy, who had just 4 points in the first half, can't change that. Belton, a beast on the boards, misses. Brown with the block, but a foul is called.
I was just about to say, to Ashley's point, Texas Southern needs to get back to crashing the O boards. We saw that for a period of time, and they have 10 right now. Now that makes 11, and get to the free throw line. I think they continue to put the pressure on with the offensive rebounds, making sure they're chasing those shots. They'll go back to finding some success.
First free throw for Alasia Fantroy is true. That's the first foul on the Defensive Player of the Year, Destiny Brown, which also speaks to her ability to alter shots without going into the book. Fantroy, the first team All-SWAC accolade recipient, goes 2 for 2, and the lead dwindles under double digits early in this third quarter.
Yeah, it'd be really meaningful, too, if Alcorn State can hang on, get to the championship. If they win, it'll be the first time since the 2000-2001 season since they won a postseason tournament.
Destiny Brown being guarded by Belton, but it didn't matter as Destiny Brown continues her excellent day, now with 12.
Yeah, Destiny Brown will not be denied her size and frame. She's just able to go at will to the rim.
And Coach Nate wants her to be even more aggressive. Cheatham tries to finish off the possession. She cannot, and that's no good. But again, the offensive glass well in favor of Texas Southern, and Deja Holmes with the deuce.
Yeah, and there you saw Alcorn State was caught in transition already and didn't get back to defend that, and so it was wide open underneath for Texas Southern to get the board and put it back up.
In transition, a foul on Texas Southern, and Destiny Brown will go back to the line. And you see the little reach in by Cortland Laudermill. Laudermill, that's her second. Destiny Brown can't cash in the first free throw. Coach says Brown is a team player. Her first look is usually to pass because of just her unselfishness, and that's why he wants her to attack the basket more, because she can put up numbers like she has right now, 13 to lead all scorers.
Yeah, she's one of the stalwarts. Rebounding and ability to block shots is just elite. And taking her one-on-one, you usually want to take Destiny Brown in terms of the favorable one-on-one.
Cheatham rips down that rebound after things were difficult in the lane for Alasia Fantroy. An 8-point game, 7.5 to play in the third quarter. These two teams split the season series, but in the first matchup, Texas Southern won. Destiny Brown did not play. She was a big difference maker in the second matchup, and she's been a difference maker today. Cheatham tracks down this offensive board, and that is off of Cheatham as Deja Holmes got her hands on the basketball.
That's one of the downsides to playing slow on the offensive end. There you saw once it got out to her outside and everybody's kind of slowing up around the perimeter, she didn't have her help get to her quickly because that's just not how they're playing offensively.
In that second matchup, Alcorn State won by 8. Destiny Brown had 12, and Charmaine Finley was the leading scorer with 20. Good look at the rim, but Destiny Brown impacted it as Elena Thomas was right there.
Yeah, she went untouched to the rim, unable to get it to fall. And Alcorn, as they were in the first half, really in control right now.
Finley, the fall away, and it falls off. Texas Southern out and running again. Holmes, step back triple is off. And still 0 for from long range. Now 0 for 6 are the Tigers.
And there you saw in transition, Texas Southern trying to pick up the pace a little bit, but credit to Alcorn, they got 3 defenders back before she could ever get the shot off.
Zaniyah White just flips that up, and Jada Belton is going to reel it in.
Yeah, it's been on and off for Zaniyah White with that specific shot.
Jada Belton working on the offensive glass after the Holmes miss, and Texas Southern has another possession. So Alasia Fantroy comes out. Tiana Mathis comes on for Texas Southern, and Ashanti Backus comes out as Destiny Brown blows that play up. Jada Belton can't finish, and then a foul, and that's going on Texas Southern.
Destiny Brown, the brick wall, not once but twice, goes straight up, doesn't commit the foul, frustrating Texas Southern down low. And Alcorn State will get the ball back, but I mean, it's exactly why she was voted Defensive Player of the Year. Just if you're watching film on how to defend and not draw fouls, it's Destiny Brown that you need to be watching from the SWAC.
6'3", long wingspan, and that's why she's one of the best shot blockers in the conference. Now Nakia Cheatham lays it in, plus the foul.
Great finish there, too. Starting to get fired up a little bit. We were just talking about Destiny Brown and why she's such a good shot blocker. It's because of how she goes about her business. She never gets outside of herself. I was asking Coach, is there ever a moment where she'll get fired up or anything? And he said, no, she's always just all business. She's not, even though she is a leader on the floor, you don't often even hear her. It's a lead by example, and the rest of the team follows. And as you see, her teammates are going to bring the energy for her on the floor.
Cheatham with the old-fashioned three-point play, and Texas Southern turns it over. Cheatham right at the rim.
Cheatham times two.
Alcorn State, its largest lead of the game at 13.
That's that frustration part about Alcorn State. When they want to turn it up, they can. Just like that. You think they're going to go slow at you and let you come in when you're on the offensive end. Absolutely not. Cheatham saw them get a little bit lazy there as they were coming up and took advantage.
And Nakia Cheatham quickly now has 9 points. Second leading scorer on the day behind Destiny Brown. Brown was just called for a second personal foul on the hook. Loudermill flips it up and in, and that was a huge bucket just to stop the bleeding.
Yes,
for
they
Texas
really
Southern.
needed an answer. I mean, Texas Southern at this point, you're now down by double digits. What is inside of you? What is it going to take? Can you put that crown on? Can you be sharp? All these things that they talk about and focus on during the regular season, can you get those things to happen now in the SWAC tournament?
Cheatham wants it. She's been cooking. And that move is spicy for Nakia Cheatham.
Just lethal right around Holmes. Holmes stood no chance, and Cheatham wasn't waiting for anybody. She knew where she needed to go to put the ball on the floor one time and then straight up around.
Excellent footwork from Nakia Cheatham. She now goes into double figures with 11, a perfect 5 for 5 on the day. And matching the degree of difficulty, Cortland Loudermill with a wonderful bucket.
Loudermill, they need her to continue to ramp up and put those difficult shots in, especially, too, when you got so much momentum going in Alcorn's way. Can you have an answer and slow them down?
Loudermill had 14 points in the win over Prairie View A&M. She has to pick things up as she's done all season in clutch situations. Henderson, by her lonesome, misses off the glass. Texas Southern trying to run. Holmes just turns it over. 3-on-2 for Alcorn State. Cheatham calls her own number, gets her own miss, and she's taking over right now for Alcorn State.
None other than Cheatham, who has just been so hot these last few trips up the floor. She has been so dynamic, too, driving into the open lanes for Alcorn.
Henderson back to Ashanti Backus, who will slow things down. Henderson receives it back from Bound with 5. Takes the screen, gets to the cup, and Alcorn State is booming.
You love to see the patience there from Destiny Brown. Typically, some players might get frustrated when they're on the count looking for somebody to get open outside. And
if Texas Southern can battle back, but the Braves leading by 15 on top of the number 2 overall seed.
It's going to be hard to beat any team that is playing mistake-free basketball, and that is exactly how Alcorn State is playing. Only 7 turnovers up to this point, and they are executing off of Texas Southern's turnovers. 19 points off of turnovers so far for the Braves.
0 of 7 from long range are the Tigers, and that's also been a part of their undoing against a team in Alcorn State that defends the 3 well and has real motion when it comes to their offensive acumen. And there's a foul. And working the shot. Braves won the last matchup between the Tigers and Alcorn State. And Arine Ike Polar adds to this lead, now the largest lead of the game for Alcorn State at 17.
Yeah, the Braves are just in total control, not just of the game, but of the tempo. And they're also getting back in transition defense. So frustrating Texas Southern on both ends of the floor.
Ike Polar knocks down another. Arine Ike Polar off the bench now with 10.
With the silencer, too, to go up by 20. That's just got to be debilitating if you're Texas Southern. Somebody coming off the bench with fresh legs, shooting the ball right over your head. In the SWAC tournament, Texas Southern has got to start turning things up or just putting the pressure on Alcorn State, trying to maybe close the gap too on the defensive end and get closer, more pressure in the face. Nothing seems to be working well in terms of on Texas Southern's defense. They're just not getting to Alcorn State, getting in their head or anything.
23 points off the bench now for Alcorn State. 13 from Nakia Cheatham and 10 from Arine Ike Polar. Malaysia Fantroy knocks down both free throws. And that's the defensive intensity that Coach Skeet is looking for. Nia Harmon slips into the lane, and her shot rolls off. Charmaine Finley has it ripped away again, and that's off Finley. Oh, check that. And Adrian Gilmore is going to come back, and she had a better look at it, and it's going to be Texas Southern basketball.
I mean, what an answer mentality for Texas Southern to get in there, reach around, get the steal initially, and then just the fight on the offensive end to try to maintain. That's a great answer by Texas Southern after Alcorn continues to push the lead.
So Texas Southern is about to inbound the basketball with 33.9 remaining. Ball comes into Belton. She grabs it and scores. A tough catch, a tough bucket, and she finishes. But now Jada Belton is hopping on one leg, and this would be extremely detrimental for Texas Southern's case.
Yeah, that great finish by Belton to hang in there. As we see, she's already got a left knee brace on, but it looks like her right leg is where the potential injury is on. Walking off gingerly with trainers. Not having her in the size and the presence underneath the basket is certainly going to be missed. They need to get her back in as soon as possible if she is able to go.
14 points, 8 rebounds for Jada Belton. Coach calls her a walking double-double. And right now, receiving medical attention. Shot clock turns off at the end of the third quarter. Charmaine Finley kicks to Kaylin Watkins. Now down low to Arine Ike Polar. She's blocked away by Davion Harris. A chance for Texas Southern. Holmes for three. Yes!
Wow.
And she's fouled.
How about that for some March Madness? They're trying to claw back against it.
Before that triple from Deja Holmes. Anela Thomas, no good on her first attempt of the fourth. And the ball bounces out. Will go to Alcorn State.
Taking a look during that last break, too, Belton was testing out her right foot. She had her shoe off, jumping, testing it. She's back on the bench now at the very end of the bench, closest to the scoring table. If she's back, that's big time for Texas Southern.
Jada Belton with 14 points and 8 rebounds before going out near the end of that third quarter. Focusing on the stability of her knee as well. And Destiny Brown gives off to Kiara Henderson with 8 to shoot. Henderson goes up and scores. And for more on Jada Belton, I'm Ashley Jones.
Yeah, guys, I talked to one of the trainers on the bench on the Texas Southern side, and I asked him, was Jada Belton okay? She said, yeah, she tweaked her ankle a bit, but she's good to go, and she'll be back in the game.
And that is humongous for TSU, trying to mount a momentous comeback. Currently down by 14 to the number 4 seed. That's swiped away. And that's a block by Alcorn State. They've been amazing defensively today on TSU. Brown, the jumper, long, grabbed by Nia Harmon. She's played minimally today, but Harmon can be a difference maker offensively when she's playing confidently, says her head coach, Burnett Skeet. Davion Harris, blocked by Nakia Cheatham. Holmes is fouled on the second attempt.
That's where having Belton in can be such a difference maker. She's one of their more versatile bigs. It looks like she's going to check in at the scorer's table. She's somebody who is able to move around underneath, around defenders in such an effective way, and that's why she's been such a key piece as to why Texas Southern has made a deep run.
Deja Holmes, who hit that 4-point play to end the third quarter and then had the free throw. Now at the line, Holmes, true from the stripe. The transfer from Fresno City College. Coach says she is the 6th woman on this team. Goes 1 for 2, 9 points on the day, but Holmes gets her hands on that. Fantroy goes over some chairs on this sideline, and she jumps up, thumbs up, and that's the type of effort that is required not only down in this game but in the month of March.
Absolutely. We've seen some scary injuries, celebration injuries, and things like that. Good to see that she is okay, just went up over the top of that chair and is ready to roll, and that's exactly that effort that Texas Southern's going to have to play with if they want to work out of this deficit in the fourth quarter.
Top scorers for Alcorn State. Nakia Cheatham off the bench with 13 and Destiny Brown with 13. Henderson with 3. Cheatham, the nice pump, but she can't finish. Destiny Brown with the rebound. And another possession for Alcorn State.
Yeah, that resets the clock too, which they continue to work down until almost 0 every single time.
Cheatham fading short, and it will just be Texas Southern basketball despite the bench wanting a foul as Jada Belton ended up on the floor.
We don't often talk about clock management or time management in the game of college basketball, but that's exactly what Alcorn State has done in this one. I mean, thwarting you on the defensive end and then offensively just draining the clock down. They've been able to hit the clutch shots too as the shot clock winds down.
Laudermill trying the tough task of shooting over the defensive player of the year, Destiny Brown, and she is unsuccessful. And Alcorn State in no rush as they continue to milk this clock, leading by 13.
And I think if you're Texas Southern, you've just got to put a body on somebody. Don't foul, but make them uncomfortable enough on every single pass. They've got to feel you.
Destiny Brown turns the ball over, but that's just the 10th turnover of the game for Alcorn State. They had 26 yesterday and still beat Alabama A&M. Things have been much crisper today for the Braves.
It absolutely has been. Near perfect basketball, just total control for Alcorn State.
Belton ends up with this, and her shot falls. Jada Belton, big down low with 16.
That's why Belton needs to be on the floor for Texas Southern if they're going to find a way to make this one competitive down the stretch. She's so good in those moments.
Brown takes her time, but she can't finish in close. Thomas with a quick outlet pass. Loudermill is denied. Nakia Cheatham came out of nowhere for that SWAT. She took the worst of it under the basket.
Taking another look at this one. Destiny Brown unable to get that one to go. That's a credit to Belton, but watch out for Cheatham flying in. She has been the energy for Alcorn State in this one. She takes an incredibly hard fall down, but look at her walking off now. I'm fine. I'm cool. Looks okay. Having somebody like that on your roster is a difference maker. Somebody who does not care about their own health, well-being. She's going to do whatever it takes for this Alcorn team.
Wow. What a denial by Nakia Cheatham.
Just at will. We've seen it on the offensive end. There we just saw it on the defensive end again. Such a clutch player.
So the officials are looking at the monitor and about to have a discussion with the respective head coaches. Looked like a pretty clean block by Cheatham.
Changes everything.
And 8 rebounds to go along with now another block and 3 steals. 10 to shoot. Holmes with Backus on her. Wants a screen. Takes the screen. Holmes into the body of Brown. The shot just rolls off. Holmes gets it back. Her shot is no good. The ball's free. Belton ends up with it, and she is fouled.
Wow.
Reckless abandon showcased by Jada Belton, and she'll go to the line for 2.
Texas Southern continuing to stick in this one and fight it out in the semifinals of the SWAC tournament. Belton is just one of those impact players. When you have her on the floor, she can do things like that. She'll now get it paid off at the free throw line, which, as we saw in the first half, they really struggled completing their free throws. That's changed here in the second half.
5 for 11 from the line in the first half. They were a perfect 5 for 5 in the third. As a team right now, they're shooting 60%. So Nakia Cheatham is called for her 4th foul. And now they're changing who earns the personal foul. So Cheatham stays with 3. Sanaya White picks up her 2nd.
That's a bad miss, too, on the first one. Everything here counts with 5 minutes to go, down by 10, and Alcorn hasn't slowed up offensively.
And an empty trip for Belton. One of the only things she hasn't done well today. Now 0 of 6 from the line. Texas Southern turning the defense up as they have to at this point of the contest. Alcorn State still in possession. Who's going to settle the offense for Alcorn State? Texas Southern right now on a 12-2 scoring run. Henderson finds Cheatham with 2. Cheatham looks up with 1. No good.
Yeah, that one just maybe a desperation shot as the shot clock was winding down, just sort of threw it up there and didn't get a good look at the rim.
Cortland Laudermill, step back three, long. Mississippi Valley State, a legendary player, one of the top men when it comes to assists in Delta Devils history. So he knows about pace of play. Wants his young ladies to execute right now. Out of the timeout, late shot clock again, but that's nothing new for Alcorn State. Henderson around the Brown screen, goes high off the glass for two.
Great awareness, too, to see the defender going to her left side, and she just last minute does that adjustment, rolls around upright, and gets to the rim.
8 points now for Kiara Henderson. De'Avion Harris working on Destiny Brown, waits for the contact, then scores, plus the foul.
You don't typically see that mistake, too, from Destiny Brown. Little lapse in judgment there as she went, and Harris was waiting on it.
A beautiful move by De'Avion Harris, knowing that the Defensive Player of the Year is going to be looking for a block, took her time, and completes the old-fashioned three-point play.
Great work there now. A 9-point game with plenty of time. Alcorn looking to break this press.
But the same old story for Alcorn State. Fantroy gets a piece of that. Nia Harmon is racing the other way for TSU. Harmon blocked by Destiny Brown. And then a foul after the miss.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Harmon. She was trying to do it on both ends there. Good eyes underneath defensively, waiting to pull that one out, goes forward, but just not able to finish.
So Deja Holmes getting ready to check in. She'll come in for Nia Harmon. And Texas Southern extending their defense down by these 9 points.
And what a big difference for Texas Southern between the quarterfinals and semifinals. They had 26 fast break points in their first win, only 11 here.
And Zaniyah White, that pretty mid-range jumper that Coach Kilbert talks so much about. Lead back into double figures. Laudermill blocked by Destiny Brown. And Destiny Brown has been a beast defensively, but what would you expect from the DPOY?
Yeah, she's just calm, cool, collected defender, but will absolutely humble you with some of her blocks underneath. She looks like she got hit in the face a little bit there on that last one, but she's looks okay.
Fourth block of the game for Destiny Brown. Ashanti Backus has the ball on a string as she breaks the full court man-to-man on her own. Clock dwindles down to 6. Destiny Brown calls her own number. It's nothing there, but again, every single time Alcorn State runs that clock down, it puts them in a better position as we go under 2 minutes to play. De'Avion Harris has that tapped by Zaniyah White.
Great work by Zaniyah White. Quick heads-up play there. She's spinning around defensively and is in the right position to knock the ball down.
So Kaylin Watkins is going to come on for Ashanti Backus. It's good to see for Watkins, who at the end of the first half was feeling some sickness. So she's back and defending in this big moment.
Such a tough player, too, playing through injury.
Harris goes up, gets her own rebound, and De'Avion Harris is hooping and scores plus the harm.
And she is fired up after that one, and rightfully so. Taking another look at it. Driving here, takes on the Defensive Player of the Year. Can't get the first one to go, but is there for her own O board and puts it back up. And she is fired up as she should be.
9 points for De'Avion Harris off the bench. Coach says she's in the best shape of her life. She's put on some muscle, and her engine is always humming. And she hits the free throw. Now 2 of 2 from the line, 10 points, comes out. Jada Belton comes back on with 16 points and 9 rebounds. And the moment is now or never for Texas Southern.
Yeah, that's big time there to knock down those last few free throws. Those 3-point plays are huge for them right now as they try to claw back.
They've struggled shooting from beyond the arc, 1 of 10 from long range, so getting 3 the old-fashioned way, the best way to come back against the Braves.
Sanaya White's got to be careful, too. She's now in foul trouble with 4. There is only 2 minutes to play, but if Texas Southern tries to run the table here and push this to overtime, they need somebody like White to stay in this one. Not necessarily filling up the stat sheet, but what she's done in this game to make it competitive is huge.
Destiny Brown, the safety valve, goes back to Kiara Henderson. Alcorn State has done well in the initial phase of the press. Brown with Belton right in front of her, has it stripped, and then Belton. We have a foul being called on the sideline, and that's Kelly Johnson making the call. So a foul going on Texas Southern. So Belton will come out. Coming back on is DeAvion Harris and Deja Holmes.
Yeah, that foul was unnecessary, too, because Holmes was right there with the stop. So the extra touch on it just didn't need to necessarily do that.
Henderson driving again, spins, and scores. A perfect pivot by Kiara Henderson.
And she is now the 3rd player, 4 now in double figures for Alcorn State.
Holmes swatted from behind by.
If you're Alcorn State, I mean, no need to foul here. It's a minute left. Stand-up defense.
To Avion Harris, tiptoes on the sidelines. Fan Troy wanted to get a 3 off, but Nakia Cheatham was in her grill. Now with 6, it's Loudermill. Off the jab, Loudermill denied by guess who? Destiny Brown, her 6th block of the game.
Check this perfection, too, to just be in good position for the block. She comes across, still making sure to protect the paint, and just goes up with force, bringing that ball down.
Timeout called on the floor. And so we'll keep things here. But Alcorn State can sense it now, leading by 10, 41.1 remaining, and in possession of the basketball. And you need your best players to step up in these moments. And
seconds.
Holmes got a piece of that. So a couple of time ticks off. Henderson trying to inbound it. Throws it to Destiny Brown, but she has it stripped, and Fan Troy scores.
Absolute perfection, and they get the timeout for Texas Southern after a beautiful play defensively there, turning that into offense.
So Eliza Fan Troy goes into double figures with 10, just her 2nd field goal of the contest. But you're going to your safety valve, but you have to put it in a place where only she can get it with her height.
Alcorn State plays it in to their top player in Destiny Brown, who
Alasia Fantroy grabbing that. Alasia Fantroy grabbing that. And again, it's just a floating ball. You want to get to Destiny Brown, but when it's not enough air put on it, it allowed for Fantroy to undercut it, and she turns it into points.
Yeah, Fantroy too, making sure she's making Destiny Brown feel her on the backside and spinning around, getting good position in front of her, and goes right up.
So an 8-point lead for Alcorn State, but cannot afford any more turnovers. Ball comes into Destiny Brown. She gets it back to Henderson, and Texas Southern has to foul. So Destiny Brown, who was doing her best guard interpretation, trying to dribble through.
You see Alcorn State again wanting to run the clocks down. Kiera Henderson could not have had a better look from the three-point line, and instead dumps it off, trying to just drain that clock now as they look to get to the quarterfinals, semifinals, championship at this point. Goodness.
And right there, could not inbound the basketball, so a turnover, and Texas Southern has possession. So the timeout taken by TSU, and we see here Kiera Henderson just tried to throw it off of Jada Belton, but was unsuccessful.
She almost looked like she got it through her legs on the throw-in as well. Maybe here we see another look at.
Would have had the inbound a little bit farther up, so now Texas Southern has to go. Loudermill floats one up, it's long. And it now goes to Alcorn State.
What a great performance here today that we've seen from Alcorn State. Everything they said they wanted to do in pregame, they've absolutely done in this game, executing their game plan really to perfection, and they're going to be a danger.
Given the duty of inbounding the basketball with no timeouts. Ball comes into Destiny Brown. Ball comes into Jada Belton. And now Henderson, after throwing the ball away, and Destiny Brown hit her head when Alasia Fantroy went up. Fantroy has made it to her sideline. 7.1 remaining, and Texas Southern is down by 8. Ashanti Backus being guarded by Hanela Thomas. Thomas commits the foul. That is the 15th foul. So it should be free throws for Backus with 3.6 remaining.
Yeah, and the nature of that hit at midcourt's kind of pulled the air out of the room too. Just the concern for Destiny Brown right now. A lot of eyes on her as she's on the sideline.
Backus makes the first free throw. And the only thing that's in question now is going to be the final score, as Alcorn State is going to move on to the championship game for the second straight year. Backus knocks down the second free throw. Loudermill brings it across midcourt, but doesn't take a shot. Alcorn State